Hey everyone, let me ask you something. Have you ever been told, no, you can't do that, just because of who you are? Well, today, we're going to dive into this incredible true story about a group of young girls who were told no over and over again, and they decided to play basketball anyway. Now, it sounds simple, right? But believe me, their victory was anything but. This is the story of the Nagaputta basketball team, and the invisible walls they literally had to tear down.
And really, at the heart of their entire struggle was this one fundamental question. What is a girl's place? For these girls, the answer that society kept throwing at them, that was an answer they just weren't willing to accept.
All right, so let's set the scene. Our story takes place in Nagpata, a neighborhood in Mumbai. And the central idea here, the thing you have to keep in mind, is the wall. And I'm not talking about a physical wall. Nope. This was a powerful, invisible wall, one built from expectations, traditions, and all these unspoken rules about what a girl was allowed to do and what she wasn't.
And this is where we meet one of our main heroes, Afsana Mansoori. Get this, she was just 13 years old when her journey kicked off. I mean, just think about that for a second. 13. That's an age when you're just trying to figure out who you are, right? Well, for Afsana, it turned into the age where she started to fight back against what everyone else told her she should be.
And you know what's so wild? These invisible walls, they weren't vague at all. The belief system was super specific, really explicit. People would say things like, girls are too frail for sports, and their proper places at home doing chores. I mean, this was the actual mindset they were up against every single day.
So, how in the world do you even start to challenge a wall that big? Well, the answer is you don't do it alone. And that's exactly where they took their very first step. They decided to build a team.
And here they are, the founders, the four girls who got this whole thing started: Zareen, Kushnor, Afsana, and Afreen. These four, together, would become the absolute heart of the Nagpata Basketball Association's very first girls' team. So how did it all happen? Well, it started with a spark. And that spark was Zareen. She just saw some boys playing and had that simple but powerful thought, hey, why can't I do that? So she goes and bravely asks her father's friend, who happened to be a coach. Now, he saw her potential, but he threw down a challenge. He said, sure, but only if you can find enough other girls to make a real team. And boom, that one challenge, that was the catalyst that brought these four together.
But, of course, right? Building the team was just the first hurdle. The real wall, that intense pushback from everyone around them, that was still waiting for them.
And this is a really important point. This pushback wasn't from strangers on the street. No, it came from inside their own homes. Afsana's own mother refused to let her play. Afreen's grandmother was absolutely furious about it. So you see, this wasn't some vague, abstract pressure. This was personal. This was daily opposition from the very people who were supposed to have their backs.
And the double standard was just wow. The boys, they could stay out late playing, no problem. But the girls, they had to go straight home the second the game was over. For the boys, sports could be their main thing, but for the girls, nope. Basketball was something they were only allowed to do after all the chores were done, all the studying was finished. It was an afterthought.
Let's just stop for a second and think about Afsana's daily routine. For her, it wasn't just about getting permission to play. She had to go and help her mother clean 2 or 3 houses after school. Then she had to finish all of her studies. And only then, after all of that, could she even think about going to play. I mean, the level of dedication that takes, it's just staggering.
Okay, so they were starting to break down those external walls, the ones society put up. But now they had to face an internal one, the challenge of actually becoming a team instead of just a group of individuals who happened to be on the same court. And their first big test came at the tournament in Sholapur. And let's just say it did not go well. They just weren't playing as a team. At one point, one of the girls even got into a fight with Zareen right there during the game. And because they weren't unified, they lost the match. It was a really tough lesson for sure, but an absolutely vital one.
And what they were missing is what we call team spirit. And it's so much more than just wearing the same uniform, right? It's that pride and loyalty you feel. It's about really understanding each other's strengths and weaknesses, trusting each other completely, and working together for that one single goal.
But you know what? After that loss in Sholapur, something just clicked. They started working incredibly hard, and not just on their basketball skills, but on their bonds as a team. They really transformed into this united, cooperative force. And the results? They started to speak for themselves. In fact, they got so good that they made it all the way to the district semifinals.
So, once they conquered the challenges in their own neighborhood and figured out how to work together, their ambitions started to get bigger. A lot bigger. They started to look beyond the walls of Nagpada.
And I just love this. One of the girls said, "We have been playing really well. Now we want to play for the glory of the country. We want to win a gold medal." Just listen to that. It shows you how much their mindset had changed. Remember how this all started? With one girl, Zorin, who just wanted a chance to play, and now the whole team is dreaming of winning a gold medal for their country. That's the power of their journey right there.
So, what's the big takeaway from all this? Well, their journey is just this incredible testament to resilience. It proves that with enough dedication, enough hard work, enough teamwork, you really can break down any wall. Doesn't matter if that wall is made of bricks or if it's made of other people's beliefs.
And that kind of leaves us with one final, pretty important question, doesn't it? The girls of Nagpada, they tore down their walls. It really makes you wonder, what invisible walls are still standing in our own world today? And maybe even more importantly, what's it going to take for us to bring them down?